Matty, people ask me how much Casper should you own, and I ask people, how much do you know about Casper? And in today's show, we are going to be discussing Casper again. Some things came out that I wanted to discuss on the After Hours show from Monday. Just something that KC, our boy Kevin Cage, mentioned on one of his videos about Casper in relation to the IBM Tech Exchange. So we're going to talk about that today and, some convoluted things there. We're also going to discuss SEC XRP ETF approvals and how can the SEC be, approving these XRP ETFs while also attacking Ripple. We're also going to maybe chart ADA here, Matty. I hope you chart Cardano here. Very helpful for the team. Haven't done that in a while. And we'll discuss the Prove IA launch. When will that be happening? Some speculation there. I've always said, because nobody on the Casper team has said when Prove AI will launch, but we'll speculate a bit. I did speculate a couple shows ago about when that could launch. So we'll give you a little refresher on that and maybe chart some cryptos for you. This is the Ask Matty show. Matty, how are you doing? How are the markets doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I mean, I'm always, grateful to be here, grateful to be alive, grateful to do the show. Markets are a little bit mixed out there. Really nothing too crazy. I would say that we're really kind of more in a period of sideways consolidation right now, which is really kind of some of the most boring price action you can have. But as we know in crypto, that can change very quickly. These markets don't close. They open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So, it's always on our toes, always waiting for some exciting.
Best market around team, and to invest in the best market around, you need to have the knowledge, right? I was reading something the other day about being a fisherman, right? So if me and Matty were to go fishing and Matty was to spend all day grabbing fish with his hands, he might be able to grab some fish, but I also need to eat too. So I'll go out and grab some fish with my hand. But on the back half of the day, I will spend my day building a fishing rod. So in the days to come, using that investment tool, I can gain more fish. And you need to do that with your brain. And where are you going to do that at? Crypto Charge is where you're going to do that at. You need to be educated about crypto, and there's really nowhere else to do it. You can't do it on YouTube. You can't watch BitBoy all day and get your knowledge. You need to be at crypto. Little jab there, had to do that. Come to Crypto Charge, use code YouTube, and join the platform. We have the education tools there, the daily shows, the Discord, all access over there. Do that. Matty, are you ready for the content here?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
Patrick says, how can SEC approve XRP ETF and at the same time sue Ripple XRP? I do think that SEC appeal is just a tactical step just in order to bargain the fine Ripple has to pay. I hope both sides will achieve an agreement about 200 million USD, for example, such as each one will say we won and finally set up the issue forever. Let's wait 1 to 2 weeks and we will see. Matt, your response?
So first and foremost, there was no approvals of an XRP ETF or any spot XRP ETFs. What we had most recently, and it's still exciting news nonetheless, was a filing from Bitwise for a XRP spot ETF, which does very much fall under the securities category. An electronically traded fund is very much part of that category. So the SEC does have to approve that, which we have not seen yet. And I do not think we're going to get an approval on this particular application until this lawsuit is fully said and done. At which point the SEC is going to have a very difficult time, like you said here, explaining that they're not going to be approving an XRP ETF because of whatever security risks or whatever else. When you have court documents that already say and suggest that XRP within itself doesn't designate a security, and that we already have a lot of information about how the company Ripple operates and the utility behind it. So all they have to do really is make sure that their filing matches exactly how the Bitcoin and Ethereum ones do. If they look exactly like that, we get a good resolution out of the case. I don't see any reason why it can't be approved. We haven't gotten there yet. Now, in relations to money's being paid out in disgorgements. We actually discussed this on the After Hours show. So if you guys haven't check that out, go watch that. We also discussed on the Crypto Charge live show more in depth, looking at some of the more analytics of, some of the more recent decisions, or at least, some of the speculation regarding the most recent appeal from the SEC. How much money is Ripple going to pay to make all of this go away, right? So you suggested maybe 200 million. Maybe that's a reasonable amount of money. I think they could probably dwindle it down to even less than that, right? Originally they wanted something like 1 point something billion dollars to settle this all out. Now we're down to, hundreds of millions of dollars. Who knows? Maybe this can be done for 20 to 30 million dollars, even though Ripple doesn't, believe they've done anything wrong. Again, a lot of the language that can be inserted into these settlements includes, not admitting to any wrongdoing and basically making sure that you can't be charged again for the same offenses. So yeah, at the end of the day, there will be monies paid. How much, I couldn't tell you. That's strictly speculation. But yeah, it's going to come down to settlement and disgorgement, and then we'll be able to just move on from this forever. But again, as XRP holders, you guys should not have any concerns about the XRP be delisted from U.S. exchanges again or anything like that. We've got the clarity on the stuff that matters, and this is really more about the company Ripple.
Kayvon says, hey guys, Kevin Cage mentioned his concerns about Casper specifically not appearing on IBM Tech Exchange website, although Prove AI is mentioned. Is this a legitimate concern also if some reason Prove AI is delayed or there is some other glitch? Do you think Casper will hit $1? Wow, a lot of questions there, Matt. A lot of questions.
Yeah, we're cheating here with multi-part questions. No, I'm just kidding. It's all right. And I appreciate, questions that kind of, encompass a lot of ideas that probably led you there all at once, right? Like, hey, we saw the outage with the network, we saw some changes in leadership, we're seeing a little bit of delay with Prove AI, and does this all still mean that Casper is going to potentially hit some of the prices we look at here? So I understand why you guys ask the questions the way you do sometimes. First of all, Kevin Cage, great researcher, good friend of mine, very, very blessed to know him and to work with him, on research and analytics and stuff. But when we looked at some of the IBM information on the website there, talking about, what was his name again, Gavin? Henry
Guo.
Henry Guo. Yeah, I knew I was going to mess that up.
VP of Development at Casper Labs.
Exactly. So, and he was listed as something completely separate and, not associating with Casper at all. And after Kevin created the video, it actually got changed over on the website. And I do think that's good that we reflect more closely what those people are actually working on. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was to disconnect themselves from the Casper project. I think that they just gave them a label that was associated with, the greater IBM organization and was like, all right, yeah, this is kind of, that makes sense, as to their contribution. But, very quick change on that. I wouldn't say that that's something that is concerning to me, especially, considering his LinkedIn very explicitly states what he does. Now, as far as my price predictions, right, I don't think that $1 is unreasonable. You guys look at a lot of price and, we look at all these little tiny news events and, we want to speculate on, whether price is going to reach $1 or not based on a little bit of a delay or the upgrade or whatever. Again, my greater understanding of the markets as a whole is that the markets will move together and they will move together based on collective sentiment, right? We generally see the altcoin market doing really well as a whole. Yeah, you might have a few laggards or a few outliers that will do really well ahead of time, but the reality is when the markets are very bullish, even your laggards will eventually run. We even saw this in March when Casper really saw some, couple nice back-to-back pops, 30 to 40% pops in single days. And that, again, was not based on any fundamental news. It wasn't based on anything else. So a lot of the fundamental research I do is to make sure that I'm not investing in garbage and that I also have the, flexibility down the road if I want to hold something long-term, that I, know that there is some, long-term growth that's going to happen there. And that's definitely what's happening here. Yeah, they say Q3, we're a week or so into Q4 here. That really doesn't stress me out too much. And I don't think it changes my price predictions too much. On the website, you guys can see, all the different ways that we chop it up. We also have discussed on our CryptoCharge live show, hey, here's different ways you can trim and de-risk, at earlier prices. Do I think that Casper hits $1 or more this cycle? Yeah, I think that's very realistic. I think that, even just retouching that all-time high where we had daily candle closes around $1.36 is not unreasonable. Now, on the low side, things don't go as well as we expected. I think Casper hits at least 50 cents still, which you even look from current market at, 2 pennies, even let's say your average is up towards 5 pennies. That's still a really, really fantastic reward. Now, again, some of you guys are degenerates out there, and if it's not 1,000x, it's nothing for you. And you know what? A lot of the content we probably talk about here is not for you if you're only looking for 1,000x's, because I would never promise you guys 1,000x or bust. But again, I'm targeting $1.36 is kind of my really big unload for TP1 up there. I'll definitely be doing a little bit of trimming below to try to capitalize and maybe do some reallocation and utilize my chart skills in order to build that bag up bigger without having to add additional capital. But I don't think $1 is unrealistic. Again, you look at even some of the charts that had 99.5% depreciation and just a cascading downtrend for a year and a half because they launched at the wrong time, and then suddenly investor sentiment changes and you've seen a 60-70% recovery of that price. So again, guys, I try not to get into the depths of despair because I've just seen so many examples of relentless downtrends that just seemingly get reversals out of nowhere. So I'm very positive about Casper long term, and I will be holding some Casper long term no matter what happens this cycle. So $1, whether it happens 12 months from now or it happens 3 years from now, I'll definitely have some Casper to handle that.
Sam Walker says, always excited to see your show, guys. What are your thoughts on Cell and MBD? Thanks. And Matty, you do this every single Friday. Maybe pick out one of these because we don't know. I don't know either of these. So maybe pick
Yeah,
out
I
one
don't
of
know
these to
either of
chart.
these, and we're definitely not giving away two. If you guys want your stuff on the show, you guys have unlimited picks. We don't limit you guys to a number of them. I think, what did we do, Gavin, one week, like almost 50 picks or something like that on the show.
Listen, Matt, it's unlimited picks for now, but let's be honest. We're in the near
Yeah,
future. In a couple months, there's
it's
going to
gonna
be
get
limited
spicy.
picks.
Right, or maybe we'll have to do once a month where we do 3-hour sessions of covering your guys' picks. But yeah, we can't do it all. But let's take a look at Cellframe Network here. This one definitely has popped up recently. So again, guys, please, when you're hearing about tickers and they've already done this, you missed it, right? Like, you missed the opportunity. This opportunity is gone. Like, yes, we can always look at potentially higher prices here, but like, you're buying into a massive uptrend. So look at what price has done since September 19 here. That's a 300% increase. I don't ever suggest buying into big green candles. That's the number one rule that my team knows, is never buy big green candles. You know what happens when they think that they're going to add to those big green candles and then they see price come down 30 to 50%? They always kick themselves. And sometimes it takes you a few times of doing that before you're like, wow, this hurts really bad. I should stop buying big green candles and thinking that I'm going to get a free ride up into this next pop here, right? You have overhead resistance here at $1.32. So let's say that you do get a nice little ride up here into that $1.32 area. It's about a 50% increase from current market. But when I look at some of the imbalance that got left behind here, specifically over here, this was a really good example. Yeah, maybe we did a little bit of a back test here. It was such a short-lived back test. Then you also have this big accumulative zone in here where you, just like with Casper, right? Look, guys, look at this. Look at this downtrend in here. And then you just get this like little accumulative base with just some stabs into the support there, and then just a reversal that seems to come out of absolutely nowhere. 1, 2, 3 days was the majority of that price action. 3 days of pullback, and then about a week or so to push up into that 382. This is also a lot of the strategy I show you guys when we're talking about opportunities of stuff that's still in accumulative bases like this, that this 236 and these 382s are automatically magnets for most charts, especially when they align with previous pieces of price action like this. So the imbalance play that I usually am hunting for is very much gone. And we also got a double top in there previously. So we actually did fill out that previous all-time high in there. This was a nice accumulative base that came in here. You established a little bit of a higher low, but I would absolutely wait this out. It's not worth trying to chase in here. I'd be looking to see if we got like a 50% pullback, and you might miss it and it might keep going. I would not risk it. This is not a chart that I'm very much interested in. What I'm interested in is charts that look like this still, the ones that are still in their accumulative phases like this, the ones that haven't given this breakout candle. Once a breakout candle happens, great. Then you do the easy part. You start to take some chips off the table, but we don't want to be buying these impulses here. We only want to buy pullbacks. So again, if you're dying to get in, you're like, I got to get in. I'm just so bullish on this. Pull an inverse fib on it, right? And give yourself some potential, at least targets where you can look to try to enter here and go, okay, well, I'd want to see at least like a 50% or a 618 in here. So that'll put you between 51 and 60 cents. That's what I'd be targeting in here. Maybe it continues without you, but what you guys have to do is develop rules for yourself. And, you can, potentially find a situation where you deviate from your rules and it works out really well. But what I found for myself, and again, guys, I'm coming up on a decade here of chart experience, so getting close to probably 10,000 hours, which does make you a master of your craft, is that when I deviate from my rules, I lose more often than I win. And it's just not worth it. So anytime you see something that's overextended, that's offered very, very little pullbacks, please stay away from it and then come back. Or set some limits and alerts for yourself, right? Like here in TradingView, you can set an alert. You can set a limit over in Coinbase. You can set a limit in Kraken, wherever this is trading. This is Gate.io. I don't know where else is trading right now, but that's how I want you guys to approach it. So again, please be very, very careful out there. Don't chase these big green candles. Be tactical, right? Let price come to you. And that's why we also look at a handful of opportunities. Maybe you have 10 opportunities, maybe only 1 or 2 of them come to you. Great. Those are the opportunities that matter. You don't have to be in on every opportunity just because everyone's excited about it on Twitter.
The exception does not make the rule, Matty. Well said.
That's right.
Token says, when can we expect Prove AI launch?
So we kind of touched on that at the top here. I guess, bit into this question a little bit already. But, we, like you said, Gavin, we have, the IBM tech conference coming up here sometime soon. And that's, would be a very good time for us to potentially showcase this new technology. But, we're only about a week or so into this, new quarter. I don't think it's horribly late, and again, I've seen this with huge projects, right? Ethereum stuff's gotten pushed back, Solana stuff's gotten pushed back. I don't think it's that abnormal. Even with games, games get pushed back sometimes. Big AAA games that have like hard launch dates get pushed back sometimes because they'll do a bunch of UI testing and they don't want to deliver this super patchy product. So again, little small delays in products is not that big of a deal to me, especially in tech. It's very, very normal. A lot of you guys have not been around the tech space long enough. A lot of you guys, didn't see or study the internet, bubble and the .com bubble. So you don't understand that, there's a lot of garbage out there and a lot of stuff that gets pushed out very, very fast. And, I'd rather have one very solid upgrade versus 10 one upgrade that includes 10 patches in order to fix that upgrade that should have happened the first time. So again, not that Prove AI is an upgrade. Prove AI is going to be a deployment of an application, for AI governance, but nonetheless, better to do it right the first time than to, constantly be fixing patchy products. That's not what we want to do.
Right. I love that, Matt. And remember, the IBM Tech Exchange, the biggest IBM event of the year, it's a big learning event. And so this is very big for the tool Prove AI that's going to be on demonstration there. And why we care about this so much, so Michael Starr in his last AMA, his first AMA with Casper Labs as CTO of the association, talked about, he was asked, when can we expect a Prove AI launch? And he literally, I'm trying to figure out if he was just deflecting or if he was just trying to give like a kind of close answer here. But he basically said, Matt, he was just like, we got the IBM Tech Exchange coming up. That's when Prove AI will be shown. And then he talked quickly about Grayscale AI. And I speculated a couple shows ago, I'm like, okay, was he trying to say that the IBM Tech Exchange is going to be a pillar of this year with Prove AI launching somewhere around that? That's why I speculated last time. And I told you guys I speculated, and kind of going back to what Kevin was saying on his video talking about, the speaker, Henry Guo at the IBM Tech Exchange. I'm letting you know I'm speculating here. I wish, I love Kevin sometimes, but these people, and he's very careful with his words because you guys are crazy. I mean, this is the guy that doesn't even show his face on the internet, okay? And so, he's
got the right idea sometimes, I think.
He knows. And so you guys just take and twist everything. He just kind of called it out and then kind of let it be, right? So I don't think this is anything major. I saw it immediately and had to put the tweet out because I do think that was from him, right? Because again, he is one of the big Casper heads in this arena here. And so when he called that out on his video, I think they made that correction immediately, right? So now it says Henry Guo, VP of Development, Casper Labs. And when you go to his LinkedIn, like Matty said earlier, that's easily, you can easily see that. Going back to Prove AI though, very big month here. I do speculate still, Matt, that around this IBM Tech Exchange, which is just a couple weeks away, that we will see the launch of Prove AI. Remember, Michael Storer also did say that he needs to meet with the validators to discuss the Condor upgrade, and that's not going to be happening until all this takes place. So maybe November, December for the Condor, but I hope we see something with Prove AI because, Matty, me and you were discussing the other day. Listen, to me, this thing matters a whole lot of bit, right? Because this is the adoption story we talk about with cryptos, right? When we talk about Casper, where do we see that integrating into society, AI governance, Prove AI, Watson X governance, Prove AI slapped on top. That is an adoption story that I want to be a part of, right? And so, Matty, we were discussing the other day, it was like, hey, listen, so if this all doesn't work out and, let's just say IBM decides to go with Hedera for AI governance, right? Do we abandon ship?
We've talked about what it would mean if Prove AI fell through and it didn't get deployed. And I think that if we hadn't had the bankruptcy announcement with IPWE, and them not completing their deployments like expected on the network, and we hadn't had the outage where the validators decided to collectively stop the network in order to recover stolen value off the network, which is a positive thing, but we're not going to get back into that. And then mixing that with the bad macro headwinds that really push price down further. I think that if Prove AI doesn't deploy quickly, I think that you could see some investors, start to give up and lose sentiment for the project and want to move on to other things. And I understand that. I think a lot of people are in this project that shouldn't be in this project because they don't understand what they're invested in at all. But nonetheless, I don't have any concerns about this not being deployed. I think that they've, especially a company like IBM has put too much money and time into this tool to just say, we're not doing this. It's not happening. I think at the minimum, we're going to see successful test deploys. We're going to see a successful implementation. Now, is this going to continue to be the flagship product that's always on Casper? I hope not. I hope that over time we continue to see more and more building. That there's a lot of other applications on Casper that continue to offer a lot of value. But I do think that a successful deployment is going to give a lot of confidence. You're going to see potentially a nice little pop in price if things continue to go well, as investors start to see that there's real building being done on the network. And you pair that just with some more favorable market conditions, I think we'll see some big sentiment change. But, like you said, I do think it's important that we start to see some additional real world adoption being implemented on these networks. So we don't have to just talk about things from a hypothetical. We can talk about what's happening today for today. That is nice.
Right. I like that, Matty. Team, so we have high expectations here. I haven't thought about that. And if it comes, which I don't expect it to, then we'll talk about that then when we have more information. But now, this is coming, all right? Shut up. This is coming, all right? I don't want to hear any of you naysayers. I was going to bring that up on Monday, what Kevin had to say. And me and Matt were just talking. I was explaining it to him out loud, and I was just like, you know what? Like, this is a little bit too, because we were just talking about his LinkedIn. I'm like, yeah, he's been at Casper Labs for like 6 to 8 months now. So this is like, what are we even talking about here, right? We're talking about someone writing, his position at Casper Labs wrong and just swapping it out for Prove AI, which is not a company. So, I think that's just a mistake there, and we can just move on from that. So anyways, team, we are so out of time. If you got something valuable here, make sure you leave a like. I've been loving your guys' questions. Keep bringing them. We will see you guys next week. So, Matty, anything to leave the team with here?
Yeah, guys, come on, check us out at cryptocharge.com. I know that you guys, you appreciate the content here. I appreciate you guys leaving the comments and the love here. But come check us out, right? Like I said, it's really cheap with the code YouTube. You guys get 30 days free. There's a ton of value over there. After a month, you guys don't feel like it's there, no problem. Just shoot me an email. But at least come check us out. And I know that you guys enjoy this. Double up on that. Get it 5 days a week. Don't just come here twice a week for a 20-minute little update.
Valid, Matty. Words of wisdom. All right, team. We'll see you next week. Bye.